Welcome to day 3 of Biz Freedom Blueprint. In the third session today, what we're going to cover is how to break down your competition. You want to make sure that you are unique in your field, and you want to make sure that you give yourself the edge by being able to know exactly what the competition is doing and why. Now, what we're going to talk about first is the most profitable franchise in the world, and you probably see the picture right there, and that is McDonald's. And what happened is you might not realize, but McDonald's is a household name, but it wasn't always. You see, what happened is McDonald's was what was behind how they became a household name. But McDonald Brothers started in their restaurant business back in 1938, and what they did is they just purchased an old hot dog stand that was in Southern California, and they moved that hot dog stand to their first location. And what they did is they realized that they needed to create a system to be able to service better the um, the growing youth in their community and the people's current dependence on vehicles. So the very first restaurant that they had was actually one of those old drive-in restaurants where you drove up and the people would the bellhops would roll up on their roller skates and take your order and roll back, and they would bring their food out, and they'd actually be on regular plates with regular forks and knives. But the McDonald's brothers knew that this age was going to come to an end, and they needed to find a way to make things better, to make things faster and quicker and cheaper. And what they did is they started off by taking a look, and I don't know if you're familiar with like the White Castles and stuff like that, but they were the first ones to start saying we need to make hamburgers, we need to make them cheaper. And the McDonald brothers realized that 80% of their purchases came from hamburgers. So what they did is they took their operations and they said, okay, we're going to make them the fastest, we're going to make them the best. So they developed systems in order to be able to have quick service, and they called this the speedy service. And they eliminated the forks and knives and created just the takeout gear. And their restaurant became so successful that they were pocketing over about $200,000 in profits a year. And back in the 1930s and 40s, this was a lot of money for them. So what they decided to do was franchise. So McDonald's first started franchising back in the early 50s, and the McDonald brothers were only able to develop about 15 franchises. Well, that 15th franchise went to a gentleman by the name of Ray Kroc, who actually sold milkshake machines, and McDonald's was their best customers. So what he did is shortly after that, he purchased the exclusive franchise rights for McDonald's, and went on to create a legacy. But what they did is their focus was to understand who their customers were, so that they needed to feed the time-starved industrialists with the young families. And what they did is during the baby booming eras, they focused on cheap and quick for the families. Now what they've done is they found that over the course, and you probably have recognized over the course of the last 15 years that there's been a big green revolution, and they needed to reinvent themselves for the modern era. Now they started feeling the pinch because what's happened is that there's been a lot of publicity on the epidemic of obesity in youth, and the documentary Supersize Me and the industry trends of dealing to green and healthy choices and premium products like Starbucks have started to really cut into McDonald's marketing share. So what McDonald's did is said, okay, we need to research and reinvent ourselves in order to maintain that. So what they did is they stopped selling Supersize and started relaunching their business based on the theme Forever Young. Now what they've done is in order to keep the adults happy, they've created premium meals, as well as specialty coffees. And you'll notice the picture here is a shot of an inside of one of the newly reinvented McDonald's, where it has the theme for comfort, because people are looking more for the experience now rather than just cheap and quick. Right, they've added more comfortable chairs. They've ordered Wi-Fi. They've actually launched healthier choices menus, including apples for the kids instead of the French fries, juices, being able to keep certain meals to where it's under a certain level of fat. making sure they published all of all the nutritional facts about their products, which actually they've been doing for a long time. But that has been the new idea behind their reinvention, and it's working. So what you want to take a look at is what you need to know about your competition, because you see where McDonald's came in and they researched and realized that Starbucks was stealing their thunder by having the specialty coffees and the experience rather than on the price. They've realized that the other fast food places were getting to them by offering more of the salads, which they did for a while and stopped, but they're reintroducing the salads. And McDonald's knew that they wanted to be ahead of the pack. So this is what they did, and this is what you need to know. You need to know what is the competition's USP. And what USP stands for is unique selling position. So you need to know what they're doing to keep themselves unique and really put them what they're trying to focus on putting them ahead of the pack. And once you know this, then you can counter this. You need to know what are the current trends. You see where McDonald's was realizing that the trends are going to green and to healthy rather than onto cheap and fast. You see, what are the trends in your industry? Are you 20 years behind? Do you need to reinvent your business focusing on new trends? Like, even take a look at Walmart. Their current trend right now is to move more towards green. They've dropped the logo that they've used for years and are reinventing themselves as being energy conscious, because they know though that is a big trend in today's day and age. You need to know what's happening in the news right now. You need to know where are the gaps. And this is the important thing, because once you study your competition, you can start realizing where, and especially after you've gone through the last session and know who your customers are, where are the gaps between what your customers are looking for and what's being offered that are providing, that you can go in and fill those gaps and have massive success. Now, thank you again for joining us for Biz Freedom Blueprint, our session 3. For more information on how to dissect your competition and where to find the secret information to be able to do that, go to bizfreedomblueprint.com and purchase the advanced DVDs. Now, the information included in section 3 of our advanced DVDs include crucial online resources to secretly spy on your competition, to realize what they're doing and whether or not they're getting the results that they should be getting. Okay, and also how to legally steal your competition's best.